What's up guys, Cloudie here checking in from the America server, and this video is gonna be my review of Eclipse after the changes of June 2020, see how Eclipse is now, what I have learned in running it over the past week. Now if you don't know what Eclipse is, this is an endgame content that you unlock when you are in chapter 6 and do the story of Cain and his brother Shakme. Basically it provides ethers which are needed to upgrade or enhance your soul weapons, so essentially it's one of the most important endgame contents there is. Now once you have unlocked it, you can access it either going through the Temple of the God King and clicking here, or you can go to the portal and just go to the adventure board, and here you can see how many keys you have. Now these red stars symbolize the keys that you can have for entering Eclipse, and you can also see it here at the top. There is a percentage bar which when fills you get an extra key, and the bar fills 14% every day when you log in, and more or less 1k stamina spent in dungeons will also give you 1%. So depending on how much you play, you can say easily enter once per week, and this is pretty important to get you those lovely ethers that you need to enhance your soul weapons. Now how does it actually look like? Basically Eclipse is one of those endless wave type of battles. You can see it on the starting screen already that you start at a specific wave. This depends on your best wave, and all of your teams will be starting on this wave, and then from there on you keep going until your team finally dies. Now if you go to the ready for battle, you can set up your teams here. All in all, you have to set, or you can set 10 teams, but of course this depends if you have enough heroes and enough gear for them. And one important note here: if you do not start the battle and tap back here, your changes will not be saved, so you have to redo the teams once again. This is extremely annoying. I wish they had a save button somewhere here. But yeah, how do the rewards look like? So I mentioned that you get ethers. If you go to reward info, you can see that each wave will give you different rewards. Basically every 10 waves you will receive 4 blue ethers, so glittering ones, 4 shining ones, these are the purple ones, 1 red and 1 yellow, so 1 dazzling, 1 brilliant. These are from wave 5 and 10, and then as you go on this restarts, and at the end you get the reward for all of your teams that have run and cleared waves. Now there is also an MVP reward, which means that your team that goes the furthest will receive 3 times the amount of rewards that you would normally receive. So let's say you have a team that clears wave 20, that would get twice these rewards, because 2 times 10, so you would get 8 of these, 8 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these. But because that's also your MVP team, this is 3 times the amount, so instead of 8 you will receive 24, and instead of 2 you will receive 6, and also 6 of this. And then naturally you also get the rewards for any other teams that have run, but they do not get the MVP bonus, so that's just based on how many waves they have cleared. So this is pretty good compared to the old rewards, unless you were like super whaled or had a very powerful unit that could clear up to the 60s or so. In that case you will receive a few less yellow ones, but all in all it's still pretty good, I believe. Now team building is one separate topic. It's really hard to tell you exactly which heroes to use. I am showing my teams. These had various successes, except my Ophelia team. Pretty much everyone managed to get past floor 20, and floor 20 is going to get nerfed now, so in the next week, so hopefully it will be easier to get on. Now if you click on start battle, you get some additional options. One is the speed of the battle. There are 3 speed options. You can use normal, fast and turbo, and you can change this during a run. So if I start this now on normal, then my first team will have to finish on normal, and if my team wipes, I can click next battle, or next team, which will bring up the next team at the same speed, or I can exit the battle and then change the speed settings. So if you do not click the next team option, then you actually have the possibility to change your speed settings, which can be good because maybe you have a very good team that you want to manual, and once that's done, you just want to switch to a fast auto battle or turbo auto battle. One thing to take into consideration: fast is really fast and turbo even faster, to the point that even if you set auto, the client sometimes can't keep up and will not cast spells as fast as it could be cast. So I would say use this with caution. Unless you are really lazy about it or do not have the time, I wouldn't recommend using even fast. I played through with normal and it was manageable once you have set your gears and everything and saved them in a gear preset. Then Eclipse itself doesn't take that much time. It's like, once a week, so not that bad really, and you certainly get better results if you play on normal with manual control. But normal feels a little bit slow. It's like the basic speed without the 1.5 bonus in field raids and whatnot, so it's kind of in between. It could be a bit faster, but yeah, it's not that bad really. The other option is you can determine how many keys you want to use at once. You can see I could use 3 now. This means that you can use all your existing keys in one run, and then it works as a multiplier to your rewards. So if I use 3 keys now, then I would get 3 times the rewards. Now this is a double-edged weapon kind of thing, because yes, you save a lot of time, but a bad run will utterly scuff you, or if you disconnect, crash, then that team is lost. You can no longer continue with that team. That one is lost. So if your main team crashes, then tough luck. You have used 2, 3, 4, 5 keys and you will not really get good rewards. So I don't really recommend using this. Again, only do it, I think, if you do not have time or feel really lazy about it or do not care. And then yeah, you can do that this way, but I don't really recommend it. Now, what heroes to use, as said, is really a specific topic. A lot of them can be used. What really helps is when they have fast cooldowns, so they can clear waves fast and then go to the next one and clear it again and again. If they have stacking buffs that make them stronger over time, because as the waves progress, the enemies become stronger and stronger, so your heroes need to become stronger too. These are the main things to look for. Esker is really godlike here because his single target and the AoE damage is really bursty and really good. And as the fight progresses, his cooldowns become very small. He can cast like every 3 seconds or so, and he does a lot of damage. So Esker, pretty much the king of Eclipse right now. Even a 3-star can make it like wave 40 with good supports. Your supports and artifacts will matter a lot. Frey and Fallen Frey are like the best support units you can have here, mainly because of their shield strength. Shields will protect your team from getting one-shotted. That's really important. Also, as you progress, there is an increasing healing reduction. It's not so bad as before it was the patch, but it's still significant towards the end, and shield just doesn't care about healing reduction. So Frey and Fallen Frey are pretty much the stars of the show here. Now, of course, gearing is another question. Of course, your DPS you want to wear Manticore, your supports you want to wear Twisted Dimensions, so Dark Legion gear, but it's really hard to gear up 10 teams. Even I struggled with that, and I've been playing forever, so that's actually not easy. Your best bet is that you use Dragon gear instead of Manticore and Dark Legion gear if you don't have it. But yeah, even I was forced to go back to rerolling stats on Manticore pieces that was lying around and farming Dark Legion, because it's really hard to actually make 10 teams that do work. Now, how you gear is really dependent on what you're running. Remember that you do not have love really in every single team, so crit damage isn't so bad. Penetration isn't bad because you will not have defense shred on every hero. or every team. And one tip I can give you is that in the index you can see each monster type, what kind of damage they do, whether it's physical or magic, because they do both. So you can encounter physical teams, you can encounter magical teams or magical enemies, I mean. And your tank needs to be able to tank both of those, which means you kind of have to use split gears. And for that, it's even harder to gear because most people had very, very specific gear sets for either physical or magic type. So block chance is really useful, and depending on your first run, I would make notes how far you get with each team and then adjust your gear based on where you will be stopped. Now generally from my experience, a 2 or 3 star team can make it past 15, and if you have good supports then you can beat floor 20 as well, which is getting nerfed like next Tuesday, so maybe it will become easier. With 4-star teams you can get past 20 and then maybe even beat 25, and from there on it gets progressively harder and harder. Of course, as said, Esker is the god mode of, or the god of this content. My 3-star managed to get to stage 40, and he, of course, with good supports. Now the bosses themselves repeat until floor 40. Each odd one will be physical, so 5 and 15, 25, 35, and so on. These will be physical bosses, while the even ones, so 10 and 20, 30, 40, these are magic bosses. So if you expect to get to those and not further, then you can adjust your tank gears based on what kind of boss your tank will need to tank. So this is kind of important. And yeah, I think that's it for a quick introduction. I'm also working on like a tier list or recommended hero list, and Eclipse will play, of course, a big part in that. So yeah, I hope to get that out within a week or so. Until then, I think this has been it. We will get back to Eclipse later on. Thank you for watching, guys. This has been Cloudie, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.